I got me a brand new one. The one I took a picture with yesterday.
Yeah.
My brand new one. That one's not leaving the house.
This is me, Big T. It's been a while since I've been on my YouTube channel, but we're doing a wrestling podcast. I am sitting here with my co-host, Logan, and we're sitting here with Jeffrey, good friend of mine. So we met at, was it WrestleMania 30 or 31 with The Rock? No, it's the...
I think it was, damn. I know it was, the main event was John Cena and
The Rock.
The Rock. It was the first one that they did.
It was the WrestleMania 28, I think, probably.
Yeah,
WrestleMania 28. We met at Hooters, and we've been keeping in touch for years, and we're big wrestling fans. And we wanted to do this interview on our podcast, The Wrestling Effect, on Spotify. And you have an announcement for your anniversary.
So yeah, I just finished my 30-year anniversary show. I was going to do a wrestling match with me and my son versus Vinny P and my other son. But you know how things happen with life. The ring I was supposed to get, the guy is going through some personal issues, so he couldn't get the ring at the time. So I was like, all right, let's do my 30th anniversary show with me singing my very first show that I sang was my Boyz II Men songs and All For One. I was like, all right, well, I'll just do the retro of that to fill it up. And I was like, we could do my 31 and 32 anniversary show, the years, to change it up because that's leading up to what's going on, because this year's supposed to have Vinny P and my son versus me and Brett in a match. Well, since the thing changed, I was like, well, make it 31 and then 32 when I face my boys in a triple threat match. My last ever match, because I've wrestled in a ring before, and the way I went out was not the way I wanted to go out. Like, I didn't have my proper send-off for the last match, so I'm going to do my last match with my boys in a triple threat match. That's in 2 years.
That's the way to do it.
That possibly might be my last ever. It's going to be my last match ever in a wrestling ring, because I'm old as hell now, so I can't really do what I used to do, but I'm like, just go out with my boys and go out with a bang. Possibly I might be retiring as well. But again, I can't leave the spotlight. I mean, I'll be doing videos here and there, but again, I can't leave the spotlight. It's addictive.
How long you been doing videos? You've been doing it for years.
30 years. I started at the age 14 down here. Yes, 14 years old I started.
Wow.
So I've seen it all. Heard it all too.
And I know you refereed a couple matches with a lot of superstars.
Yes, I've refereed. I started refereeing in 2005 or 2002, somewhere right around there, because I was an independent wrestler at first. I just started out backyard, but I started doing independent. And I was like, you know what? The referee didn't show up to some of these shows in EWF and Marion for Extreme Wrestling Federation back then. And I was like, all right, let me test it out, see if I can referee, because I did refereeing backyard wrestling. That's really nothing. It's like, okay, well, I'll just have fun with it. But yeah. I was in the ring, man, and I felt at home. I was like, is that the first time you've done it? I was like, in the ring, yeah. So I always thought that you had to be the professional wrestlers in the ring to make it look good and just be the star. But I'm like, man, you know what? Being a referee is much better than being a wrestler, because you're still part of the show. You started the 3-part magic, 4-part, 5. Depends on if I'm doing a tag match. So I was a better referee than a wrestler. So it's amazing how stuff works out.
So either you retire, would you ever do referee again after you retire, or?
I would probably do that again. That's funny how you're talking about that, because a couple years ago for Heroes and Legends, I don't know if you guys ever been to Heroes and Legends before.
Been to one.
And they had a show at the Coliseum, and my goal was to referee at the Coliseum. I've refereed at the Coliseum like a couple times for Heroes and Legends. I was like, all right, I'm going to retire from a referee to do it in the Coliseum. Proper way of doing it, because after I refereed that match, I'm like, man, I'm blowing up. I can't do this anymore. I'm tired. But I got they also do a show that I help out with a Pro Wrestling King here in they travel everywhere, but they're here in Fort Wayne, and they book me every show. I was like, and I normally film. I was like, so am I still good? Because I want to make sure that, hey, if I'm good for a booking, am I good for it?
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, by the way, you're gonna ref. I'm like,
They bring you back in after you retired.
But I was like, and then one of my guys, Ryan Paradise, that I've been friends with for a long time and stuff. He, it was a guy that I respect and worked with in the EWF back in the day. And I was like, I want to referee one of your matches because he was one of the guys I like to work with because he was fast paced and I like to do those fast paced 1, 2, oh my god, those not just not the boring matches.
Yeah.
And I like fast paced matches and I was like, man, I want to referee at least one more time with you. So I got brought back in Fort Wayne at the Legion last year and I did it and I was only one. I was like, dude, just give me one match. I don't need to have like 2 or 3 matches anymore because I can't even last. But no, refereeing, man, I would definitely come back and referee any time.
Do your kids referee too, or they just wrestle?
They hardly get into it, but they'll come and watch for the show. Like I said, they watch wrestling all the time, but it's just sometimes they
every once in a while kind of thing.
But I told them when they were younger, like I want you guys to be my last ever match, and I was going to do another match with somebody else, that tag match thing. And I was like, all right, we'll do the tag match, and I'd be the last. If we're like, no, Dad, we want you to be your last match to be with us. And I was like, are you guys sure? So. I mean, it makes perfect sense. I mean, going to my 2 kids, one's 15, one's going to be 17. So it's like, pass it on to them. And I was like, okay, guys, I'm gonna take the liberty and just not win the match. And they're like, no, that's not gonna happen.
Wow.
So yeah, because I've never won a match in the ring.
So you never won a match.
Never won a wrestling match in the ring.
Not one match.
Well, we had a 2 out of 3 falls match, but that doesn't count. That doesn't count as an exclusive. Oh my god, a win! But
you got that pin though.
Pinfall on him.
Yeah, you got that pin.
Yeah, the guy got the pinfall. My technique partner did, but it's like so it's like I want to tell my own story.
Yeah.
Before, because again, I've had people that's been in the wrestling business that's passed away, friends of mine that's passed away, and they didn't live to tell their story on how, I was in wrestling. I want to do this and do that. So I'm like, I want to do it. I want to go out my right way. I don't want to go out like, say, for instance, if I get hit by a car when we're done. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but I'm just saying I want to go out before I pass away the right way and not like look back like, I'm satisfied with my. Because there's people that do things like not just entertainment, but in life, like, I want to see this person do this, and when you want to fulfill your obligation or your thing that you want to do, the way that you're like, okay, I did this, and then you got to be like, oh man, I'm disappointed in this, I'm disappointed in that.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
So even so you say you retire, are you gonna have that itch to come back? Because everybody said they're gonna retire. Ric Flair said he retired like five times and still came
I've said that a lot too. I mean, if I get the itch to do something in the ring, I'm gonna obviously before the show run the ropes and take bumps, but I'm not gonna just go back and go in and do a whole
match and everything.
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared that I'm not gonna do a good job with my boys. Because obviously I'm not the greatest wrestler, but when I got there, when I was doing independent wrestling, man, everybody hated me. I mean, I was good on the mic, people booed me and hated me, and
but that's a heel thing. Like you're a heel.
Yeah. But I got the magic now. But now that's changed a lot, because again, we're in that era where things change. Because again, like I said, if I go out there now, people might consider me boring. But again, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't wrestled in a ring in forever. But I'm out there refereeing, man. People cheer me and. Yeah, the thing is, some of the wrestlers used to get mad because, with me being in Fort Wayne, and then they'll, like, oh, hey, Jeff, you could referee, and such. But the thing is, I get cheered more than the wrestlers would sometimes. And some of the wrestlers would be mad and upset, and which I get, because, like, when they had, not trying to say anything bad about these wrestlers because they're damn good. POD and, not POD, sorry, Eric Smalls and then Hornswoggle. Mm-hmm. At the Coliseum, I got a bigger pop than they did.
Because you're local, so everybody know who you are.
Yeah, and then when they had the thing at Grand Wayne Center wrestling for Warriors, they had Tommy Dreamer was on a card, and then I was refereeing the first match that they had, and I got a huge pop that night, and then I was in a crowd watching the Tommy Dreamer and Magnus match. At the time, his name was Magnus. One of my friends like, Jeff, by the way, you got the second biggest pop of the night. And I'm like,
you're just a referee.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm just a referee. I wasn't trying to get the biggest pop out of trying to outshine anybody, but it just, some of the wrestlers used to get mad about that.
You were just there.
Yeah,
everyone loved you.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it local, but if I'm coming into town, I'll probably be mad myself.
Yeah, I'd probably be mad too.
Well, yeah, it's like, I don't try to outshine people. It's just like I said, I've got a name here in Indiana. I mean, hell, I made a history book. Not from just the wrestling stuff that I've done, but just from the entertainment aspect of things I've done. I've done everything from music, not me singing, but I've been in music videos, I've been in podcasts, I made a history book, like I said. So it's like, I don't control the destiny that happens to me. I'm just being myself.
And it's just that line. You just go with it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm better than anybody else. I mean, you guys see it here. I was like, what do you guys want me to do with your guys' podcast? I'm not sitting there thinking I'm the biggest thing ever going. That's not me because you got to be humble.
Yes.
That's a big thing in this world.
A lot of people miss that nowadays. I'm not being humble. Like,
That is the 100% true. But you would ask a question.
There's one thing I really want to talk to you about.
Okay.
You refereeing AJ Styles.
Oh, he told you about
Yeah,
that?
I told him
He
that.
told me about that, and I want to hear it. I want to hear
All
it.
right, so back in EWF is where I started to do the refereeing thing. So they're like, I was only a referee at the time that they had. So sometimes, it's hard to get that referee because some people don't get paid, some people don't do, you know what I mean? And they're like, by the way, you're wrestling the whole card. Or refereeing the whole card. I was like, okay, that's cool. I can't do it now. If you'd ask me to do it now, I'd be like,
Okay.
If you would pay me an extra $25, we'll talk. But other than that, no. But what happened is I ended up refereeing that match, and then I took AJ Styles for him. We had it on video, but again, I don't know what happened to the video, but I legit took the forearm from AJ Styles.
Oh man! So you took that bump?
Yeah. And
That's pretty good.
and I'm the referee that's always down, like, because I was a referee that always gets ass beat every weekend at a show. Because I don't know, I just had that thing where, he can take a good bump, kick his butt, et cetera, et cetera. So I took his forearm, I was down, he looked at me, you ain't dead. I know, I'm just still on it. and I got his phone number because I was, at the time, I was trying to do my own promotion with a friend. And I got his phone number and I got his autograph. So, obviously when you write down your number, but yeah.
That's pretty cool story.
I knew you were going to ask him that because all week you wanted to ask him about AJ Styles.
No, you ask me whatever you want.
Yeah, it's just kind of cool to say that you've had AJ's forearm in your face before.
Oh yeah, man! It's like I tell people about that. Sorry, I'm also going to record some of my stuff too for you guys. So.
Yeah.
But no, I like laid down. Like, I was the guy that always used to get his ass beat all the time, and I liked it. And as I know, it sounds kind of crazy and stuff like that, but
as a wrestling fan, I mean, Big Show. I want to get chokeslammed by Big Show. Just take that bump. I've been watching Big Show since I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't mind.
There are some moves that I wouldn't want to take though, like the spear. That one would suck. I feel like jackhammer. Wouldn't want to take that.
With the spear, you kind of know it's going to be, going to be coming.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Would you want like a 240-pound dude running full speed, launching himself into your
I
midsection?
played football, so I think they wouldn't mind.
Okay. Well, you're bigger than me.
But if it was Goldberg, I wouldn't mind taking it.
I wouldn't. I'm small. I get cut in half.
Speaking of bumps, man, since we're talking about bumps, man, I can tell you, there's been some times where I was doing a match, and I wouldn't know about taking a bump.
Oh, they didn't tell you about any
No.
bumps?
So there was this tag match in Marion. Again, I'm going to be talking about Marion a lot, and there's going to be some here in Fort Wayne I'll be talking about too. I mean, I've traveled, Indiana and Michigan and stuff like that too, to different places. But man, they had a tag match. It was Jackhammer and Anarchy versus Void Effect. They're all good and work together. So after I won, I rose the tag team champion's hands. Oh yeah! Next thing you know, whoosh, I took the F5 almost from one of the guys, and then the other guy put a finish on me, and there's thumbtacks right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
But I mean, I wasn't mad because I didn't obviously feel it because my adrenaline was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna take the finisher. So that's another one I took, and then here in Fort Wayne, it was Malachi versus Oxbaker Jr. And I only refereed that one match. I refereed two matches, but I refereed that one match, and I rose the hand of the winner. Turned around, gave me the heart punch.
Oh.
So
beating referees.
Yeah. So thank God that I knew, what was going on, because obviously some referees would like, oh, okay, it don't affect me. But again, you gotta play the role to know the role. Because if you don't, if you get hit and you take a bump, they're gonna knock the crap out of you. They're gonna legit beat your butt if you don't.
You take the beating. Take
Yeah,
the beating.
take the beating.
Take the I can't think the right word. Take the beating. Take the.
Don't cry about it.
Yeah, don't cry about it.
Don't cry about it.
Would you rather take the real beating, or would you rather take the beating that's just being handed to you?
I'd rather take the money that's going to give me money and make the fans be happy.
Yeah, I don't want the beating that's them just beating me for no reason.
Now, I know we were talking about earlier before we came on how you want to be in a wrestling business. And I know you do too. Well, I tell you what, when I came in, I was doing backyard wrestling. I was going in like I said, again, I'm humble now, but I came in like, oh, I'm this, nobody could defeat me. That got me nowhere, but got my butt kicked. They legit beat my butt in Huntington. They legit, yeah, it's on the Landis Entertainment Network on YouTube. It's a Hot Stuff Still Burning revamped, and you'll see it. They literally just took me in the corner and chopped the crap out of me, beat the crap out of me for being cocky and arrogant. And I learned my lesson that day.
Can't be cocky.
So, my advice to you guys, to anybody that's out there, you guys, anybody who's getting into wrestling, listen. Listen to the veterans. Don't think because you've done this and that, you see it on TV. It's not that easy.
Yeah, I could believe that for sure.
So don't come in cocky, or else you might get your butt handed to you. That's my advice I tell everybody, because I see people nowadays, oh, I got this, I can do that. Once you get in that ring,
They go.
They'll show you that
they'll make you humble.
Do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good idea. Like, oh man, let's do this, but in your head, you're like, no.
So, question. So, what made you get into wrestling? I remember my cousin George got me into wrestling. I remember first time watching WCW. First wrestler I ever seen was Kevin Nash. And then he was like, you should watch WWF at the time. And I've seen The Rock for the first time. I was hooked. Didn't even worry about WCW anymore. Like, what made you get into wrestling? Like, who was that wrestler? Is like, that's what I want to watch. That's what I want to do with my life.
I say Hogan and Warrior was my main influences. I'm sure you hear that back in the 90s and 80s. Hogan and Warrior were my influences. I used to watch that stuff on TV. I'm like, man, I would love to do that. Hell, I used to, because I lived with my grandma at the time, I used to go, when they would go to bed, I'd put on my own wrestling matches. Like, I have like a pillow, and then I have like the couch is like a wrestling ring.
You put the couches together?
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, I'm Macho Man Randy Savage. Oh my God, I'm this person, that person. And I'd do that, and I remember, rest in peace, my grandma. I remember one time when the IRS was doing something, and I was cutting promos in front of a Christmas tree. Yeah, I just started legit. My grandma was like, I'm tired of you doing that stuff. And it's also what kind of the thing with wrestling is back in then, recess, me and my friends Montreal, rest in peace, Brandon Cooper, I had an Amish guy wrestle with us. We did our own little wrestling show during recess. So I had like a wrestling belt like this, but it was like the kids taught about, and somebody ripped it. But that's a different story. But we like had like a balance beam like right here and then like there, and like, so we'd have like Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, like the WrestleMania 8 type stuff, and people would come in. We had like a big battle royal one time.
This is all in school.
Yeah, this is all in school recess. And what's cool though is that years ago, back in 1999, I was like, let's go back to, because I was doing backyard wrestling, so I'm like, let's go back to where I was when I was a kid when I did it. Didn't have the balance beam there or anything, so everything was brand new. So we got to do the show there, because I used to do like annual, like Collision Course was our Royal Rumble, Death Wish was our WrestleMania. So we did Collision Course in New Haven, and somebody actually called the cops on us because they thought we were little beating the crap out of each other and hurting each other. And my wrestler's like, come here. I was like, yeah, let's see if the cop will do a storyline with us. I was like, no, they're not going to do it. So I was like, all right, let me snap on a wrestler. So I ended up getting arrested.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they ended up taking me in a car and just dropped me off like right by the swimming pool in Meadowbrook in New Haven. So I was like, this is awesome. So I did my top WTF moments. That was like number 2.
Oh, what's number 1?
Number 1, okay, so back then people used to call cops on us like nonstop because teenagers are wrestling, but they don't see the camera because, obviously this is before YouTube, right before what we're doing right now is YouTube era. And we had a camcorder, and then a cop knew that from the show what we were doing. So we're just doing a match, Hollywood Rob versus Axe Kamen. And we didn't have a referee at the time because I was doing camera and referee at the same time because I was like, okay, we can make it work because we can make stuff work.
Yeah.
So here comes a cop, kicks one of the wrestlers, not legit like hurting them, but kicking them. WWF, oh, the big boss man. Rest in peace, Bradley Madison. But man, let me tell you what, the stuff that we did back in the day, a lot of it was not planned, but tell you what, having a foreign cop come in and kicking one of the wrestlers, that had to be number one. Because nowadays, if a cop were to see that, they'll legit go in and attack you or just be like, "What the hell are you doing?" type of stuff. But man, we got away with a lot of stuff back then. But then sometimes people call cops, and then someone goes, "Oh, Landis, you need to grow up and do whatever." Some cops be like, "Oh, you're just doing your thing. Go have fun." So yeah, that was the number one top. That's my 22-year anniversary show that we did. And man, let me tell you, going through VHS, go through changes from VHS to digital, from DVD. So that was like one of my longest, hardest working anniversary shows.
You got to change everything because the world is changing.
And then got to interview some of the guys. Like interviewed George. Like say George did something to somebody, and I was like, we did an interview with him from California, but we did it, Facebook chat. And I want to get everybody's opinion. Like you seen the top WTF moments of oh my god moments of WCW and ECW and stuff like that. I was like, I want to do something like that. So just imagine going through all that stuff and then trying to get all the people for interviews, and some people moved out of state. So I was like, okay, how can I do this? Is before the whole two-way stuff. How you can record and screen share everything. So I legit had a camcorder. Same as I was interviewing George. Oh, George, we did this right here on this. You can do an interview on that. So we had to pretty much cut and then edit it. So that was like, I was in the editing room for good 8 hours one day here. And we were only limited for 2 hours to 3 hours.
So you had to come back and do it
so
over
come
again.
back, legit have pizza or something. So that's a hard working thing. But yeah, that made number one. I would love to do another top WTF moments, but that's too much damn time.
Well, you can hire somebody to do the editing for you.
Yeah, I know, but just the money situation is a thing. But yeah, like I said, that was the hardest. But I like doing the complicated things. Like I said, I've interviewed celebrities before, from Danny Trejo, Lita Ford, to Ron Jeremy, to Eric Bischoff, to Jim Cornette. My list can go on. And I was like, why don't we do a top WTF, or not a top 50 moments of celebrities? But here's the twist. You guys remember Lethal Lottery from WCW? Where they draw the names of the wrestlers, like Sting and Hogan tagged up.
Yeah.
So I was like, why don't I just get a thing? A friend of mine donated. He's like, by the way, you got something in the mail coming. I was like, oh. So he donated a wheel for me.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
So I started pulling out top, the interviews, like Eric Bischoff was number 15, or stuff like that. I was like, why don't we just twist it up in a way that, because I like doing stuff that's unpredictable, like stuff that you don't know what's going to go on.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of time too, but it's a lot of time to do editing and stuff like that. That's why I'm trying to slow down.
I believe that.
Any questions, Max?
Oh no.
Oh, I saw you.
Oh no, I was just agreeing. Editing sucks.
Out of all the interviews you have, what is the number one interview? I can't believe I just did this.
Oh damn.
Because you did a lot.
Oh, you mean local or just in general, or celebrities?
Celebrities.
Celebrities.
Just, any celebrity. Let's say the number one celebrity that you did, the number one wrestler you did. Just I did this interview. If I did with Sting, I probably I'm on my peak right now.
Well, that's a tough one. Oh, because I've interviewed from Jake the Stick Roberts to Eric Bischoff to Jim Cornette to Teddy Long, Tracy Smothers. So it's I don't know. The music wise would be Jack Russell's Great White. If you remember, they did a song Once Bit Twice Shy, and Mr. Big, To Be With You. Those are my two heavy metal ones. Danny Trejo, he did Machete and Spy Kids and all kinds of things. You look up Danny Trejo, he's everywhere. He's done all kinds of stuff.
Everyone knows the name.
Everybody knows him. So we were at DeadCon, and the guy gave us, we got a free booth and everything else like that. And he's like, you can interview anybody you want. So Danny Trejo was a huge star. So in my head, I'm like, no, this is not going to happen. I'll just go up and try to risk it. Yeah, go ahead. You got a couple minutes. All right. So we did an interview with him. So Danny Trejo was one of the biggest celebrities we had. Wrestling wise, oh man, see, that's a toughie right there. Because Jake the Snake Roberts was a good one. Eric Bischoff, Jim Cornette. The Jim Cornette one was definitely. Did you see that interview?
I only got seen that one, but I need to because when Jim Cornette talks, you listen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have to listen.
So when we did that interview with Jim Cornette, so me and Jim Cornette we're talking like we're buddies, like how we are, legit, because all those celebrities treat me like how we are. and we're doing an interview. And next thing you know, here comes Teddy Long. He interrupts the interview.
Oh, he interrupts the interview with
Yeah.
Jim Cornette?
And then I was like, because I want to get an interview with him that day too. I was like, you know what? If he's coming in to the frame, why don't you just do the interview? Say, hey, what's up, Teddy Long? How you doing? I'm not too much player. Just doing his little thing. And then he was talking about, because I had a skin tag on my eye, and him and Jim Cornette were just going at it. Just pretty much just dogging me. But I know they're doing it out of fun.
Yeah.
Here I am as, I'm being professional because and in my head I'm like, holy, this is happening. Because the way that they were treating me, like I was like one of them. Like they weren't like acting like that they were better than me. Yeah, let's check it out after we get done. Because
I definitely
I was like, wow, this is awesome. Because then Eric Bischoff one was definitely one of my favorite ones too. Because Eric Bischoff is like, because when I was younger, him and Vince were my most influential people that I liked. And I found out they were coming up for a win. I was like, Eric Bischoff. So I ended up hitting up the people that brought them in, because they have sponsors that bring in these wrestlers for Heroes and Legends and other companies. I was like, Eric Bischoff. I was like, who do I get a hold of? So I started talking to Kevin for 3-6 Promotions. Check it out, by the way. And we were talking. He's like, well, you got to pay for the gimmick and stuff like that at first. Because, again, Kevin didn't know me at the time. And then neither did Eric Bischoff. And, it's like, okay, that's cool. It's the $30 fee, picture, and then interview. Well, that's not bad, though.
That's
but
not
still.
bad at all.
And I was like, oh my God. And Eric Bischoff was when he first came in. I was like, where are you going to do the interview at? And he's like, what interview? He's like, I'm just playing. I was like, oh my God. He's like, he's like, you ribbed me. I'm like, man, but he ribbed our team. But I was definitely starstruck there for a moment. I'm like, but I still, so that's one of my top favorites, because if I have an interview with somebody that I have a goal I want to try to get, I'm going to get it. Like, the biggest interview I want to get is Boys to Men.
Boys to Men, oh.
They're my favorite group of all time, no matter what. I've tried with the agent, and they said no. But good thing for Cameo is I got them to do 2 videos for me. One of them did during the whole COVID era. I was doing a sell of Landis Entertainment, because I seen WWE was going on sale at the time. I don't know if that was just all play or whatever. I was like, well, let's do this PR just to mess with people's heads. So I'm selling Landis Entertainment. People would legitimately hit up my inbox and ask me, are you really selling it? Yeah, I'd be willing to buy it. And then I was like, oh, okay. And then it turned into a 2-part series because controversy. And then I had my haters out there. Who's going to buy your stuff? Your stuff ain't worth anything, blah, blah, blah. Just trashing me and calling me all kinds of names. I'm like, oh, whatever. So like, what can we do for a plot? So as the 4th of July, I got the thing from Cameo. And it's Wanya and Morris, the Boys to Men. Obviously, I paid for it and told them to say what they say, because that's what they do on Cameo.
Yeah.
Everybody's jaw dropped, because he's like, hi, I'm Wanya Morris of Boys to Men. I'm the new owner of Landis Entertainment. He's like, oh, by the way, I'm just kidding, because when I was doing a sale, people were like, holy, oh my God, a guy from Boys to Men is gonna own the rights of Landis Entertainment. And he wished me a happy 26th year anniversary. So mind you, this was during the whole COVID thing, and yeah, so
man, you like had just a good life with just entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, I yeah, and then I had Sean Stockman of Boys to Men, because during the COVID era again, I was like, okay, because I found out, because I want to get all 3 of them, since I can't do the interview face to face. Why don't I just have them do a cameo? Because you own those rights to Cameo. Say for instance, if you guys did a thing for your Wrestling Effect, hi, my name is insert wrestler name here, or Sting, or whatever your favorite wrestler is, you own that rights to that video.
So like nobody can take it or
no, anything? Yeah, because you paid for that video and you own the rights. You can have them say you're watching the Wrestling Effect. So I was like, all right, and I was like, yeah, I hear things ching 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 in their head.
Yeah, the light bulb just went off in my head.
But my pop.
I need to get a hold of LA Knight on Cameo as soon as I possibly can.
They'll do it too, no questions asked. And I had Sean Stockman of Boys to Men. He was singing. I was like singing one of my favorite songs, "Boys to Men on Bended Knee."
Yeah, good song. He
did his part, and then he did the chorus of "On Bended Knee." Like, you're hosting the producer of Dos Landis, Mr. Jeff Landis, and dude, that was legit my freaking opening for my show for a good 2 to 3 years.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty
So,
cool opening.
so having your one of your favorite members from your favorite music group do your opening for your show, that's
Just,
phenomenal.
You're on you're on the top of this mountain, just smiling, just like
Yeah, and then
Looking down on everybody.
And some people would get on me, oh, that's just cameo video. That's what they do. It's like,
but it's on your show.
You don't understand. It's, I have a TV show. I've been wanting to get them for years. I got 2 members of the group, which is fine with me, but still, I'd rather do like what we're doing. But again, that's why, okay, I know that's not going to happen because I've tried for years and years, unless I get another PR person, but I don't see that happening. That's why I want to do my match with my boys. So it all comes down to, because my goal was to get Boyz II Men on my show, and that's the last. I'm done. Since that's not happening, again, like I said, there's not an alternate backup for my boys, because wrestling, if you mention my name, Jeff Landis, people will be like, oh, that guy that does wrestling.
Mm.
So, like, if I originate to something that I go back to, because I was very popular from doing wrestling shows, too. And I was like, you know what? If I have my last match with my boys in the ring, I'm done. Because, again, I know that's reality. That's going to sink in right there, because that's them taking over for me.
Yeah.
But again, like I said, it's not, I don't want people thinking, oh, he's just doing that because he can't get Boyz II Men. No, that's just, I'd rather go out this way if I can't get it the proper way. Like we were talking about before, everybody has a story. Mm-hmm. You have a story in life, that you want to accomplish some goals, you want to do this and that yourself. So.
Are your boys in the entertainment business too, or are they just doing just the wrestling?
They're doing their own thing. My oldest wants to play sports. My youngest, he does stuff every once in a while. He'll do like graphics and stuff like that. But he's like, Dad, if I do something, I want to like do rap or something like that. I'm like, do what you want to do. I just want to do this last match. So I can be like, hey, I had my last match with my boys. I go out happy, and I'm the type of person that if I have a goal, I'm going to go for it. Like, I really want to do this match now. Like, we're going to pre-record both matches. We're going to pre-record the tag match, and then we're going to pre-record the same match the same day with the, because if I'm renting a place, might as well just get 2 matches done at the same time. And then, because right now, the Vinny P and the Vicious Venom was in the match before. The Vinny P and the my son thing, we've already got all the storylines already lined up because, again, with things changing, so I've got 30 minutes worth of video footage of hype already. So all I got to do is put that match together and put in some, like, if I do media appearances, like, I'm sure you guys are going to let me use this media appearance for stuff like this. And I'll put, like, media appearances and stuff like that just to put in a video saying, hey, we did this, we did that. And then the video, and we already got the match pre-recorded. Mm-hmm. The anniversary show's already done.
Yep.
It's on a shelf. I mean, it's not really on a shelf, but it's there to be recorded. And if I do that triple threat match with my boys, that's a year of me. We just had our match. Mm-hmm. That's just a year of me doing those storylines, adding on to that, and editing into that. Yeah. So again, I was like, if we do it that way, be easy. Because, man, editing anniversary shows are a pain in the ass. The anniversary show that we did this year, I did interviews with my dad, my first ever best friend, and stuff like that. And then the media appearances, I like showing the media appearances that we're doing because, like, it's not a bragging thing. It's just like, I'm just a small kid in a small town. And media wants me to do stuff like that because I like to document everything like I just did earlier with us. It's a good feeling because it's like, man, I accomplished this. And I'm just a small person. I'm not getting paid millions of dollars of doing this, but it's like people are interested in me, besides of Landis Entertainment Network, because again, it shows like, okay, maybe it's not. I'm interested in the different people. Does that make sense? What I'm saying? Or,
yeah, it absolutely does.
So it's like I love the media. Mm-hmm. Some people don't understand. You got to take advantage of the media. Like, say for instance, if you guys were doing, you guys are doing something big now, but you never know. You could after this, people watching this, you collaborate with another people that does podcasts with wrestling. I know a lot of wrestling people.
We would love to talk to them.
So I'm gonna have you add me on Facebook, and then after we do this, I'll tag you in it, and you never know. You guys might link up with other people. Yeah. So again, if you link up with other people, wrestling, because wrestling is very huge in Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
It's very unutilized because there's been some shiesty promoters. I was one at one time. We brought in Abyss from TNA, and we were thinking, we were young, in our 20s, 25s. Okay, we'll just go off the gates. Like, okay, we'll go off the ticket sales. The ticket sales were horrible.
Really, really bad.
Yeah, there was a riot at the end of the show.
Oh.
And Abyss was there, and we didn't have the money to pay Abyss. I got a funny story to tell you guys about that, by the way. I mean, not really funny, but it's crazy how things work out. If you guys are cool with that,
Yeah, we're cool
Yeah,
with that.
yeah.
We're cool with
I
that.
know you're like, ooh, he's got something I'm saying.
Some
So-
cooking in there.
Yeah, it's just crazy on how things turned out years, a couple in. We didn't have the money to pay Abyss. He was like 200 at the time. That's cheap compared to now. We didn't have the money at the time because we thought, okay, we got somebody to help us out, an investor, and he didn't have any money too. So he helped us out with the ring, and like I said, we were going on ticket sales. We had the money for Abyss. He threatened, he's like, I'm gonna tear off your husband's head. I'm gonna down your throats and all kinds of stuff. You guys better rob a bank or else I'm gonna kick your ass. Yeah, it got bad.
He was mad. He
He
seemed
was-
like a really nice guy.
Until you mess with the money.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are like that.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh crap. So another wrestler ended up paying him off, and here's the kicker. So I don't know. Because I still hear Congo Kong. If you guys know Congo Kong is Steve Wilson.
Yeah.
He lives here in town, and him and Abyss talk all the time, and they still mention me. But here's what's crazy. Here's the kicker. So when I started doing interviews with wrestlers and stuff like that again too, started coming back doing the wrestling business, refereeing and everything else, there was Abyss. I was like, oh my god, he's gonna kill me. He remembers me from back then. And then my friends were sitting there laughing at me and shit and stuff, and they're like, because I was like legit, like right next to him, sweating, and I was like, can we get an interview? So I got to interview Abyss that same day. So you can see it. I've got the clip. I'll show it to you. I was legit sweating.
Even when he's mad.
No, this was years.
Oh, years later. Okay.
Yeah, years later. Sorry, this was years later.
But he still remembered.
I don't know, but he was cool. He was cool with me though. I was like, I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna kill me. Does he remember me? So when I was doing an interview, my youngest son was doing camera. My oldest at the time was doing camera. I'm like, man, he's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me. The interview was short and sweet. But I was like, oh. So yeah, that's crazy on how. Yeah, that's one of those things like one of my career, part of my career, like, yeah.
That entire time, I was like, please don't remember me. Please don't remember me.
So another question I ask. So wrestling has changed so much since I grew up watching it, and it just evolving. What's different between like wrestling then and now that like in my eye, I think we're still in the PG era trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
But like, what do you like? What's different that you wish that it can go back to? Like ECW hardcore. That was my generation. They still have hardcore matches. They call them death matches.
Extreme Rules.
Yeah, Extreme Rules
Yeah.
matches. What's like what you think is like they wish you can bring it back, but you
Shock value.
shock value.
Yes, because I remember. Yeah, I know I'm hungry. I'll eat after this show. But like shock value, like the Attitude Era, man. That's when we had a lot of shock value. Or back when I was younger, like my first ever wrestling event, I can remember I was going to an independent wrestling match. It was in New Haven High School. But my big show I went to was a WWE or WWF Superstars at the time, where they record 4 shows in one day. That's how I started learning. Like, oh, that's how they do that. Well, they had Jake the Snake Roberts, and I'm sure you guys seen the clip of all the time Macho Man and Jake the Snake when the snake bit Macho Man.
Yeah.
You guys know that was here in Fort
Yeah,
Wayne.
that was here.
That was here in Fort Wayne.
That was here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I was there the exact same day that happened.
All these years I did not know that.
Yep, here in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Look up WWF Superstars 1991, or look up Jake the Snake Roberts Snake Bite. Happened here in Fort Wayne. So I was a young kid. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, wrestling had a lot of shock value. Wrestling was valued back in the day from WCW and WWF because they come to town like 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, I remember dudes doing that.
So they had shock value back then, and that's the thing. When I interviewed Jake the Snake Roberts, that's one thing I was like, man, I remember as a kid watching that, and we were talking about that. He's like, yeah, it's like it was better for me because normally, to his quote, and like I said, you can look it up too on YouTube. Those things, Jake the Snake Roberts. Like, man, I remember that day that happened. He's like, yeah, It was good for me because I didn't get bit by that snake. But man, I go take a piss and the snake be looking at me while I'm trying to strike me when I'm taking a. I'm like, Jake was very blunt, but it was fun. He was a fun guy. But yeah, I was like, and then another thing about Fort Wayne history, WWE and stuff like that too, that the Rockers won a tag team titles here, but the rope broke, so they had to give it back to the Hart Foundation. That was here in Fort Wayne.
That was here in Fort Wayne.
Yep,
I heard that for years that they won the tag team titles, and then it was never shown on TV. But you know they won. But I did not know that was here in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
It was Shawn Michaels and Mark Jannetty. So I didn't even know that was in Fort Wayne.
Here's another one which you guys might remember this one. Triple H versus Mark Miro at Monday Night Raw happened here in Fort Wayne.
You probably
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I knew that was Indianapolis, but it's in Fort Wayne, so that did not know. But I'm still.
The Buried Alive happened in Indianapolis.
The Buried Alive, okay.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of shocked that the snake bite that we see for years that was here in Fort Wayne.
That's insane.
So yeah, when you guys watch it, if you guys know, because I know you guys go to these wrestling events, I study the Coliseum because that's one of my favorite places I like to record.
Mm.
If you ask me what your favorite place to record is the Coliseum, because again, Boyz II Men concert, I didn't record it, but still, again, just this Coliseum's got that air about it, because that's got a lot of history. Again, the Jake the Snake stuff, not just for just Fort Wayne stuff, there's all kinds of things. But yeah, WCW used to come here a lot too, and then the thing when Macho Man was on top rope, getting ready to do the elbow. I don't know if you were here for that Nitro or not. And then Sting came down and kicked Macho Man off the top rope. That happened here in Fort Wayne too.
Wow.
So yeah, Fort Wayne's got a lot of history with WWE or WWF and WCW, and just in general, the wrestling in general, because they had AWA back in the day. Bruiser Wrestling Power Slam 2000, Dark Angel, rest in peace, who got me in Independence, took me out from my backyard. But yeah, sorry, I just thought I'd screw you guys on Fort Wayne.
I just learned some history that I did not know. I've been living in Fort Wayne my whole life.
So I wish they bring Raw or something back to Fort Wayne. I really wish they would.
The thing that upsets me the most, because again, we're talking about the things from what's changed now, is back then they'd say, "Oh, we're live from Fort Wayne, Indiana," just pretty much hype Fort Wayne up like nonstop, like crazy. Last time they were here in Fort Wayne for Raw.
Was it 2011?
It was like WWE Live or
Raw.
It's been a while since Raw.
It was Raw.
It was like 2011, right?
They didn't mention Fort Wayne.
Oh,
they didn't?
They said we're here in the heartland of Indiana. No mention of Fort Wayne.
I've heard them say that a couple times about other places, but they've said something and then they'll say the name after.
Yeah. So it's like
disrespectful.
Right, it's like you guys had all this history with us, but yet you just want to. That's why they don't come here. Again, like I said, I'm not trying to be a downer on everything, but we don't put enough. They don't put enough asses in seats for us to get a big
show.
They don't. Like when we had the live event, I went to that. It was pretty packed. The last live event that was in Fort Wayne, it was pretty packed, but it wasn't enough to sell out Raw. It'd be enough to maybe get an NXT.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys bring NXT here.
I'd be fine.
I'd be fine with NXT.
Same here. I watched the match. Like I said, with me, it's very hard for me to get into it as a fan because again, being in a wrestling business, I'm like, oh, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. And never go to a wrestling event with me because I'll be sitting there. Oh, the referee's gonna do that. The referee's gonna do that. People like, how do you know? Like, I just know these things. I just know these things. But no, I watched. What was it? It was Wesley and some other guy.
Wesley and
Javon Evans.
Dude, I legit was like, oh my god, marking out. I'm like, oh my, wow, because I like those fast-paced matches. But normally, if I watch wrestling, I'm like, okay.
It's just like you've seen it often, so you're just like, okay.
But if I see something like the stuff that they were pulling up, I was like, my wife looked at me, she's like, I finally get into wrestling for once. Like certain things. Like shock value, I'll get into I'm not gonna lie, WrestleMania is very hard for me because I'm very picky. My favorite one is WrestleMania 6, but man, this year's WrestleMania, it rocked. Not because, but it was like
it was so good.
It was just all coming together.
The story.
Yeah, it was all good.
The Rock,
yeah,
Undertaker, John Cena. It was. I can't even think the right word. It was just.
So all the rivalries in the ring coming
just
back
everything, the old old, the new, and the future.
And I did hear something about Stone Cold was supposed to be in the place of the
He was going to take
Undertaker.
Undertaker, but he couldn't. So
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
all about the money.
Yeah, I was wishing he would gone instead of the Undertaker, just because Rock, Stone Cold.
Oh yeah, because I mean it made sense in Philadelphia, but yeah, like I said, this WrestleMania, that's what also kind of drove me to come back too, was the whole Rock thing coming back, and then I seen Edge coming back in AEW. I was like, man, I might be getting Edge to come back myself to do some stuff, finish in the ring. So I did a thing because I've done a Hot Stuff Still Burning, which is showing all the matches I've done in the ring, and then I re-advised it again, showing people because some people don't. They're like, oh yeah, you just did the backyard stuff, but they don't realize I did independent wrestling.
yeah.
Now, as a wrestler, I mean, they know I did stuff as a ref, but they forgot I was a wrestler. So I just said, bring back in different formations. I showed when I very first started, and then just went on with everything.
So like, you did you started with referee first, or just wrestling first?
I was a wrestler first, and then I started doing refereeing. I was like, oh, I like to be a referee.
I mean, how many years again? You said 30?
I've been doing entertainment for 30 years. Wrestling I've been doing since 1999 for independent wrestling, but backyard wrestling started like 96. That's why backyard wrestling blew up. I mean, it blew up. I mean, we were on Indianapolis News, we were on Wayne TV, we were on radio stations. So it's like the wrestling. If you like I say you mentioned something about me with wrestling, that's where it all comes back. So I mean, that's why it makes sense to me. Okay, the celebrities you've done. That's crazy. People overlook the celebrities I've interviewed, and they rather see me do the wrestling stuff. So it's either the two popular things I've done was me singing Boys to Men and the wrestling. So that's the two things that's
the people like know you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd rather go out with a bang in the wrestling because I love wrestling for the day that I die.
It's same here. I love wrestling. It's you either get the sad, the mad, the crying, the happy. You get all in one. It's just seeing your favorite wrestler wrestle. One more question if you don't mind.
Oh, you ask the money as one. I'm loving this. I'm loving this.
So, like, who do you think from AEW and NXT, these young guys that are coming in, like Trick Williams, like Wesley, do you see them like going to be like the big superstars like Shawn Michaels and Triple H? I think Trick Williams is in that category in the future, but Wesley reminds me of an AJ Styles, but a younger AJ Styles.
That's kind of tough because I don't really pay attention to the new people that's coming in. I mean, the old NXT I used to watch like crazy, but now that I can watch it on CW, I'm gonna start watching NXT. But again, that Trick Williams or the match that we were just talking about earlier,
Wesley.
man, that just had me going as a fan. I'm like, so I'm gonna start watching legit NXT now. I'm like, all right,
They're good.
And their women division is crazy.
And did you see? I think it was this week. I think they had more viewers on NXT than
AEW,
Dynamite did.
Yeah, it's crazy because you bring back nostalgia no matter what you are, music, TV, wrestling. Nostalgia is always gonna be number one. That's that's why I love doing. I rather watch the old stuff compared to new. But if you do like a nostalgia, I can't talk. So if you do the theme of old stuff, people are gonna be like, oh wow, I'm gonna tune in. Like they do the old school Raw. People's gonna tune in.
Yeah.
You're never really gonna see. But they just the shock value is what's missing.
Yeah, we definitely need that back.
So, did you watch Bad Blood?
No, I didn't.
You didn't.
Because
watch Bad Blood?
I was having problems with my internet.
Oh, okay then.
But I've seen some of the matches, I've heard of the CM Punk and the Drew McIntyre match.
That's his match. He was talking about that.
I loved that match so much. It was getting a little uncomfortable to watch at some points of the match because it looked like Drew was in so much pain in his back.
Yeah.
It was a good story, and it was an end of a story. That's what I love about old school wrestling. You start something, you get into the middle, and then you finish the story in the Hell in a Cell match. That was the perfect match to end that storyline. And I'm glad CM Punk won because one of my favorite wrestlers. But just having that match was very brutal, but it was right for that kind of match. That's the story.
The thing that shocked the hell out of me the most was the first match. I thought it was gonna be the main.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about while we were watching it. I was so shocked because I have this app on my phone. I will show me like the card before the show even starts, and I saw that, and I about lost it.
Why? Because you expect because the build-up was mainly a circuit around those two. But I was like, when I heard, I was like, damn. One thing that throws me off too is how the title matches, like the big title matches, are like number one sometimes. But again, I get it. Some of the guys don't want to just be there the whole night; they just want to leave, which I understand. But yeah, it's crazy on how wrestling's changed. Because we used to have one title belt back then, which is this is. If you ask me what my favorite title belt of all time is, it's this one.
Understandable.
This one's a little bit damaged, but I've got a couple of. I was gonna hit you. I was gonna hit. I'm trying to be cocky because again, like I said, it's a couple of my friends bought me some title belts. Like I got a guy that named Marcus. He is a big fan of mine. Like if there's anything that you want, let me know. Because he owns a business, so he got me this title.
Oh wow!
I offered to pay him back, and then he got me the $1 million title too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I definitely need to see that.
But I've offered to pay him back. Like I said, add me on Facebook. You'll see my collection. I was gonna actually hit you up about the Attitude Era belt because I know you said you had that.
Yeah. So I had the Attitude Era Championship belt. I got it from Amazon, and I'm like, cool. It was like, sorry.
Oh, you're good.
I got it from Amazon for like $98.
That's not bad.
And it was not bad. When I got that belt, it was. The WWF was all painted. I'm like, okay, it's still a good belt and everything. Then I like probably what 3 months later, 4 months later, I'm having a baby. So I'm like, okay, some things are going to be changed. I had that belt for so long, and then one of my friends was like, I want to buy it off of you. I told him no, like, no, I'm not selling this belt. This is my favorite belt, the Big Eagle Attitude Era Championship belt, The Rock, Triple H, Undertaker, who had that belt, and I'm like, no, I'm not selling it. I had to do what I had to do. It hurt. It really, really hurt, but I had that belt. I had the NXT title. I had the U.S. title. When they first came to WWE. Got it from all Amazon, but hard times comes. I won't get my belts back.
Look at it this way. Here, I'll tell you this. This is what happened to me. Me and my ex-wife, we got robbed. They stole our movies, our TVs, and stuff like that. So we moved to a new place, and we didn't have the whole cable. Not the internet, but the whole antenna thing because it was switching over analog and stuff from that. So I traded. I had a Wing Eagle title, which was like almost $500, and I traded it for movies. Dumbest thing I've ever done. One of the dumbest things I've ever done. I was like, all right, I'm going to get my titles back. So I ended up getting this back, and then I ended up having a collection. So I've got like 7 titles now.
Hey.
So
gotta make it more.
So that could happen to you, man. You could say, all right, I'll get it back, and then so don't give up, man. Just work for it.
I'm gonna get my title. I just gotta find the Intercontinental Championship from the Attitude Era. That was one of like my other favorite belt they had. So, like, Chyna and Chris Jericho was facing for it when I was growing up, and I'm like, this is the first woman. And they don't talk about it on TV. She's the first woman to win the Intercontinental Championship, and they never talk about it.
It's crazy how they erase history just because some person didn't like that, stuff like that. Go to eBay. That's where I get my belts.
eBay?
What I'm doing, because the belt that I just took a picture with last week, or not last week, sorry, yesterday, not last week. Yesterday, $90.
$90 not bad.
So I'm gonna get that, and they got another Attitude Era belt on eBay. The one that you have for $89.
Okay, I'm going to eBay.
So that's what I'm doing my next check. I'm like, because I keep telling everybody, all right, no more belts. But if you're gonna have a sale of like $80-something, $90 compared to $200, $300,
you can't.
You can't. So I don't care if it's used.
Right.
Just a little dirty.
Yeah, this one's been through hell and back because carrying it around. But again, like I said, I don't say, "Oh, I'm the WWF champion." I just say, "Hey, this is a replica. This is a collection that I have."
It's a beautiful belt.
Looks really nice.
Beautiful belt.
Just a little wear and tear, but yeah, this is the favorite title of all time is the Wing Eagle title.
I thought when Cody won the title, I thought he was going to bring this belt back like he did the Intercontinental. But
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
While we're talking about favorite belts, mine has to be the white Intercontinental title.
The one that Cody Rhodes brought in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The white one. Okay, I don't know exactly when this was. Wasn't there a yellow or like an orange Intercontinental title at one point?
Funny you talk about the yellow one. That's on sale for eBay.
How much can I get it for?
Hold on.
Yeah, I honestly hated that belt.
You didn't like the yellow one?
I did not like that yellow.
Okay,
color.
never mind. Then I was gonna show you it, but okay, never mind.
Oh.
I thought it was way fair. Like, dude, you can purchase this.
Oh no, the white one. The white one.
The white one you want to
Oh,
get.
yeah.
You can get that. You can get it on Amazon too.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I'm gonna plan on getting one of those. I'm gonna get a belt frame so I can like put it inside of it and then just hang it up on the wall.
And just tell people, yeah, I wrestled. I don't have it on TV, but I wrestled.
Yeah.
Oh my god, man! I can tell you some wild stories, man. The people I run into in entertainment, we did the backyard wrestling stuff. Oh, I held this title. I held this title. I was like, really? How come I don't see it in the history books and stuff like that? There's just people like go off and try to make themselves look better than certain things. I don't do it. I got proof in the pudding. That's why I like showing stuff that I do. Like, this is proof. But I've had people like, oh, I fought Disco Inferno in a house show match. I'm like,
where's the proof?
I'm like, where? I don't believe you. But you just see, then people will feed their egos like, oh, I'm the best wrestler. I've done this and that. And just people in entertainment are like, okay, let me see the proof. So that's why I like.
Has anybody ever actually showed you the proof?
Some people have, but sometimes it's like, you know what, man, I'm not trying to compare to what I do better to somebody else. But again, I just like showing proof, like, hey, I've done this, I've done that. Because it's like, nowadays you got to prove people stuff. And I mean, you shouldn't have to, but.
It's kind of hard to believe. It's kind of because anybody can say, "Oh, I wrestled The Rock." Okay, where's that proof at?
Yeah.
Like, I believe you. I just need to see you in the ring with The Rock.
Yeah.
Wrestling him.
Yeah.
But no, there's like I said, if I were to be back in wrestling, my dream match would be me versus Shawn Michaels, because Shawn Michaels is good at what he does, and I've had dreams where I'm in the ring with Hulk Hogan posing and stuff like that. So I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome. But in reality, I'm like, this is not happening. But no, I just like I said, just wrestling is awesome. And again, I just just be true to who you are. Don't just have to label yourself to make yourself look good for people, and you know what I mean. So
just be yourself.
Yeah, I see you're about to wrap it up. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
No, you get it. The same with TV. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Yeah, I did it off here. I was like this, trying to tell him to move in a little bit, because I saw like half of his face on the screen when I looked over.
No,
so I'm like, just a little bit.
No, you're good. You're good. I said, with like one thing about me is like I was very respectful for you guys. I know you want to wrap it up. I was very respectful for you guys for this podcast. Sorry, I can't talk. But I was like, you guys should just doing this. But again, I just don't want to take over nobody's stuff. I tell people out with stuff because it shows me like, hey, you know what? I might have done this, I might have done that, but you can improve this way too. I'm not like, oh my God, this sucks. You're doing it the wrong way. Because I was very humble towards you guys.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
That,
and we appreciate you doing this with us, because this is like our first time doing an interview, our first interview. Yes. So thank you.
I'd be want to come back on in the future, or if you ever need a filler or one like that. I mean, that shouldn't be right. A filler to come on in. But I can talk wrestling all day, man.
And that's what we want. We just want to talk about wrestling, have our own opinions and everything. And like you said, thank you. You want to like tell people like your YouTube and everything?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Landis Entertainment Network. Check me out. I've got everything from all my interviews to current stuff. I mainly just put raw stuff on there just because it's easier that way. Because back in the day, and again, like I said, I know you guys are trying to wrap this up. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Back in the day, man, you had to have a camera, sign up for editing and such and such. And I was like, oh, okay, that's not bad. But man, the new era of things, man, I hate this. I don't like how things are off their phone. You got to do this and that. Now I'm like, oh, okay, this is easier. so like for instance, if like what we did, I'm gonna put on my YouTube channel, the raw footage of us doing the interview that we did earlier, and it's raw footage. I put it right then and there, and then take it off there, and take it off YouTube and edit it. So it's like, if I have a big name celebrity on, I'm like, oh, there's the interview, or I can just walk down the street. Oh, you're one of my friends. Let's do a quick interview somebody from the past. You just put it on like that, and it's done.
Yeah.
So again, I used to complain about that. Now I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense.
It makes it so much easier, especially on the phone, because everything's right there. So
it's just 2 clicks away for anything.
Yeah, so again, I used to hate that, but again, I get what you're saying. Now we do that TV 5-10 minutes, but again, no, thank you for having me on. I enjoyed it. I love to do it again.
Yeah, we really just wanted to come on and just talk.
As we just talk about wrestling, we're all big wrestling fans.
I wanted to hear your stories.
I heard them already. I know you wanted to hear
I
them.
really wanted to hear some stories.
Before we wrap this up, I think all of us say like one good match. It could be from WrestleMania, it could be from Raw, it could be SmackDown, it could be from WCW. One good match that you can watch constantly. I would say I'll go first. Mine's just Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, WrestleMania 25. I watched that match probably 100 times, and I think it's one of the greatest matches of all time, especially in WrestleMania.
Oh, that is a good match. You want to? I'll go
I'll honestly, I can confidently say it was Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns from last year, just because of the story for me. I've watched the match so many times already. Yeah, I just loved it.
Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior, Halloween Havoc. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh no!
No, the best match ever, WrestleMania 6, Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. I could watch that for days. I've got it on DVD like 3 times.
Oh man!
And I've got it on VHS twice. But no, I could watch that for days. It's simple psychology, simple milking, and crowd and stuff like that. But the best scientific match ever would be Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 19.
Yeah.
But those are my 2 favorite matches. But the number 1 is Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior. Always stand out. That's why I love this belt so much.
I mean, it's hard to hate it. So
Yeah,
it really is.
It's Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior.
Yes.
Like two big legends,
Icons.
icons.
Just don't watch the Halloween Havoc one. I'm sorry.
No, you don't watch that. Thank you, WCW, for that.
We should do a show. I'm just suggesting if you can do this down the line with me. WCW.
Oh yes, I'm down with that.
Let's do a WCW show down
He
the
wasn't at that time with WCW, but he's right there with TNA. So
I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
Like I said before, Google WCW stuff. Like I said, watch some because you're brand new to my product and stuff. You'd be amazed on. But like I said, just WCW. Let's talk about that sometime soon.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do another.
I can always get this room here. Just let me know. And, hey, you might have a new part of the.
You're part of the new crew.
Yeah, third host, everybody.
That's up to you guys.
Are they cool with that?
I'll be cool with it too.
We just want more people just talk about wrestling, and that's really it, because there's so many wrestling fans here in Fort Wayne, and a lot of people don't talk about it. And when they do talk about it,
Yeah, and there's a lot of people I noticed, because when I was like in middle school and high school, I was one of those wrestling fans that I didn't like tell anyone else that I was a wrestling fan. And I know there's a lot of people that are like that.
Do me a favor. Reach out to these 2.
follow him on YouTube. You have
Absolutely.
YouTube, TikTok, or anything else?
Just Facebook, Jeffrey Wayne Landis. YouTube, Landis Entertainment Network. That's it.
And this is not going to be the first time we're doing it. We're going to do this again sometime.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And thank you again.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And by the way, if we do the WCW one, I'll bring my WCW belt.
Sweet.
Hey, I'm cool with that.
All right, so
Thank you guys for watching. I'm Big T. This is Jeffrey.
Logan.
And you're watching The Wrestling Effect, and this is on YouTube. And again, for your YouTube and
Landis Entertainment Network. If you don't come and subscribe, I'm gonna come to your house, find out your guys' address, and get on your phone and steal it and subscribe myself.
And I'll just bring Mr. Sacco with you.
I didn't do it.
Thank you guys.
See you guys later.